Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy 45 back with another edition of the Hot Seat, man. I got a special guest with me today. Goes by the name of Angelo Dorsey from all the way from
Yo,
ATL to Houston, Texas. Say what's up.
what it do, man? What it do? Love, love, love.
You hot seat.
Hey man, so how you been, brother? Last week it's been a minute since we talked last.
Yeah, man, it sure has been a minute, man. A whole lot of stuff has happened. I dropped 3 whole projects since then. So yeah, it's been crazy, man. I've been good though. I'm blessed. I can't complain. New baby in my life. So that's always a blessing. Yeah.
Most definitely, man. Now let's see here. Now, I'm like I said, bro. Like I remember back in I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, man. You was on a tear, bro. You was on a run. Talk a little bit about that from that point to where you are now in your career.
Well, when I started, I didn't start recording until about 4 or 5 years ago was when I first started even recording music. I've always been singing my whole life, but I didn't record anything till then. And when I got out here, man, it was just kind of like there was a niche for me. I had a lane that was wide open. Uh, just coming singing hooks. Me writing my own lyrics and writing all my own material kind of gave me an advantage in a way to be able to provide some of the artists in Houston, Texas with a sound and a vibe that maybe they've been looking for that they appreciate or they love or whatever, but they would have to go to a Chris Brown or a Trey Songz and stuff like that. And you know how the industry is. It's tough to get to those kind of guys if you don't just have a label behind you setting the play up for you or whatever. So I kind of became that guy for the city of Houston, where if somebody wanted an R&B record and they about to drop a project, well, if they know who Angelo is, they're gonna call Angelo and let him come through and do his thing. And so that was a blessing for me coming into the game, being able to get acquainted with a lot of the up and coming and already established artists. I was really able to do records with a lot of people that you may not know. And at the time when we did a record, you may not have known them, but then today, for example, I recorded with Megan Thee Stallion back in 2016. We got a song together that has 2.6 million views on YouTube today. And then fast forward to today, and back then no one knew who she was. And fast forward today, she just dropped the remix for her song Savage with Beyonce. Kudos to her on that, and congratulations, on her rise and upcoming. But even from before, you knew who Megan was, and now you do. I was working with Kirk Bangs, who everybody is, familiar with, and Short Dog, who had a stint with Young Money briefly, and he's now
Killer Calion.
Killer Calion, yes. Rico Cash, who is an up and coming artist. Son of Bam is who I did my first radio record with on 97.9 The Box, and I did my first ever radio interview with him, premiering one of the singles for him. So just Cheddar the Connect. T Wayne, who I actually was signed with, like T Wayne was my label mate. They have an independent label called We Run It, and so at that point that was a thing. We were running around the city making moves together. Yeah, so it was crazy. Shout out to We Run It, shout out to Cheddar. I appreciate everything that they did for me to help me get my career started and get my feet wet. And we did what we did, and then parted ways. And since then, I went back to Atlanta after Hurricane Harvey. I lost my studio in that situation, but my family was good, and that's all that mattered to me. So I went back to Atlanta, man, and kind of established myself in the underground scene there, the way how I did here. But it was just me doing a lot of shows and stuff, mostly to try and get familiar with that, with the promoter scene and the club scene and stuff like that in Atlanta, because, while I've been singing my whole life, people in Atlanta knew me as an athlete, being a quarterback and all that other good stuff without, my high school days and stuff. So
now let's talk a little bit about how did you end up meeting Cheddar Connect, and how did that whole thing come together? I mean, you was already in Atlanta and y'all like connected, or you was already in Houston and that's how you ran into him in Houston? Y'all connected that way.
Yeah, we met in Houston. Actually, DJ Allo was his DJ during his Flick of the Wrist run and stuff what he had going on. And it's crazy because Kirko was trying to find me in 2015 before my first daughter was born, and it was presented as a certain type of situation, but then it ended up being something that it wasn't. So I just was like, no, that's not the best decision for me right now. But at the time, T Wayne and Cheddar had just signed on with, it was called LMG back at that time. And so if you remember, they had a little independent group, and Kirko and D Will, Kirko's manager, made him the president of LMG and stuff. And so D Will calls me to the studio to book a studio session for me to see what I got. And when I get there, and they're trying to see if I'm talented enough or not to work with, at that time they were like, oh, well, let's see if he's good, whatever. So I go in there, I kill the session, 45 minutes in, and come out, and T Wayne walks in, and T Wayne was walking in to sign his deal at that time. He came with Cheddar and stuff, and so it was crazy. Like, we had been crossing paths this whole time while I'm negotiating with Kirko and them, but not really talking or nothing like that. And then I guess I had dropped a song with DJ EXO that he had produced, that song called Forever, back in the end of 2014. I dropped it.
Okay,
and I guess like mid 2015, somewhere along the line, Cheddar was on his way from a gig. This is how the story was told to me. He was getting on the plane, coming back from a gig, and DJ Allo had sent him a playlist of a bunch of different songs. And so he just on the airplane, just listening to music, and my song popped up in the mix. And then Cheddar like, who is this kid? I like him. I like this way this sound, blah, 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 blah. And so Allo was like, reached out and was like, man, we want you to come through and let's see whatever. So that's kind of how that worked, man. Shout out to DJ Allo for connecting those dots. My birthday twin. Yeah. So.
All right. Now, how did you end up doing a song with Fetty Wap? Because you got a record with Fetty Wap too. That's what I'm saying, man. You was on a tear, bro. It wasn't nothing you wasn't known as far as touching, and it wasn't dope. It wasn't hot out in these streets, man. You was doing your thing. So, how did you end up linking up with Fetty Wap? Who put that together for you?
Man, Cheddar actually put that play together, man. Crazy story is, I was in Chicago. It was the night before my birthday, and I had to get back to Houston. And so I wake up early in the morning because I had to go do a car show with Hardbody Kiati from 97.9 out here in Houston. So I hop on the airport. I get in the air. I'm getting in the airport. I'm walking through. It's like 6:30 in the morning. I'm about to catch an early flight, and I got an email. Well, I got a text from Cheddar. I'm like, happy birthday, brother. Check your email. And so I checked my email, and I had a feature from Fetty Wap. So that's how that works.
Hey, that's crazy, bro. That's what's up. So now you talked about a little bit about, you went from that way to talking about, how you used to be an athlete. You say you play quarterback. What high school you went to, man? What high school you went to? Give them a shout out.
Oh man, shout out to Chambly High School, man, the Blee. You know what I'm saying? That's in Atlanta, but I actually went and left after my sophomore year to Florida. I played for a prep school. I got a scholarship to go play football for a private school. When I got down there, they moved me to like safety, receiver, out corner. I was playing everything because the coach's son was a quarterback. That politics thing go. I was just too athletic, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I ball out my junior year. I start getting D1 scholarship offers. And then the coach actually steals money from the owner of the school at the prep school. Building gets foreclosed on. The school loses its accreditation. And that's what fucked me up. So then my whole junior year, every class I took my junior year of high school didn't count for nothing towards my GPA. So my senior year, I'm in LSU. It's real bad. I lost all my scholarships because my GPA no longer reflected what it did when I was offered the scholarship offer. So then I'm going through trying to appeal with the board and stuff to be able to be eligible and, play football my senior year. I couldn't even play football my senior year, man. Nobody would touch me except for D3s and junior colleges. So it was a crazy situation, but, people will tell you even today, I met DJ EXO out here in Houston playing semi-pro football in Texas when I was 19, 20 or 20. I had just turned 20 years old. And at the time, junior colleges was blowing me up. Kansas wanted me. North Texas wanted me, Kansas State wanted me, all these, southwestern, middle of the country type schools. They was looking at me because I'm right here in the area. Oklahoma was calling the phone and stuff because I scored 47 touchdowns my last year I ever played football. So people was really like, I was a baller. It just wasn't in my life path anymore. I didn't feel like I had come to the realization that, I'm really in love with music. I really have this gift that I've been sitting on my whole life because I was shy at once upon a time, to share that and stuff. And so, just growing and developing and building confidence in myself, man, I took that leap of faith to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. Because not only does it make me happy, but I've been through things that I feel like speak to the youth and speak to the next generation and I want to be considered to be one of those leaders that is helping kids get into their right path and fall into their passion, and and take care of their money and take care of their family and do these things. And so, but how you can be faced with these pitfalls and these temptations along the way, and you got to identify that and move around it. And
so if you say if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't you, if you wasn't gonna ball, music was always gonna be there for you. So music was something that you wanted to do from the jump, but you just didn't know how to put the play together. But then you ended up figuring it out.
Kind of, not really. I would say, music was always there, but I would say that, like I learned how to play the trumpet when I was 12 years old, and I learned how to read music, and it was crazy. Like my father, would play some mild day. I hated practicing my trumpet. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I just wanted to finish my homework and go outside and play. But my dad would always make me practice my damn trumpet before I went outside. So I remember one specific day, I'm outside playing my trumpet, and I used to just play stuff by ear that I would hear off the radio, not knowing that that's a gift. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that being able to play your stuff by ear, like that's a skill. Everybody can't do that. I'm thinking to myself, anybody who can hear the note would be able to sit here and mess around with the trumpet until they find the right note, right? Like, no, people can't do that. I didn't know. And so my father, he used to hate when I would do that. Man, you need to practice your sheet music, man. You need to practice your sheet. He would always just get on me all the time. And so he came outside one day and he played this Miles Davis song called Blue Green. And he played it for me. He's like, if you're going to play something by ear, at least play something, that is classic or whatever. He just used to rob me, man, about playing the trumpet. So he come outside, he played this Miles Davis. I listened to it about 30, 45 seconds. I was like, all right, let me try. I played it back within like the first 2-3 tries. And my father's just sitting there looking at me crazy with his jaw drop. And I'm just like, all right, man, let me go outside. I'm done with this. I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? And he was just, all right, I guess you can go. But I didn't even understand what type of ear I had. And then even thinking about it, before I started playing the trumpet, my father could sing. That's why I go by Angelo Dorsey, because that's my father's middle name and last name as well. And that's why I attribute my vocal ability and even me having an ear for music from, because I grew up in the car with him. And I say he can sing, like he used to gig in DC and shit, and he performed at the Apollo with Biz Marquee and shit. Like, he really
no shit, huh?
Yeah, he was.
So what does he think about your music now?
Man, he loves it, man. It's my number one fan. I can't even lie, man. He's so supportive, and he's always told me since I was a kid, anything I touch turn to gold. And that's something that always resonated within me, and it gave me that confidence to know, I might not know how to do this, but if I put in the time to figure it out, I'm gonna be great. So that's just, he kind of set that gold standard for me when I was a kid.
Now, being from Atlanta, man, was Lloyd one of your influences? Because I swear, bro, if you close your eyes and you hear y'all singing naked like together, you can't tell y'all apart. Y'all sound the same, man. You sound like Lloyd. You sound like Lloyd for real. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother.
Man, I really appreciate that, bro. Lloyd, is crazy that everybody says that, because Lloyd is actually the first person in the quote unquote music industry that I ever met. And I never tell this story. Like, so I met him at a Madden tournament. My father had this friend from high school, and it's his homegirl, and she's married to a pastor now, and they have a mega church in Atlanta. And so they got reacquainted, and actually, my friend and this homegirl, they were friends because my father was best friends with her older brother, and her older brother had just passed. So they were having a Madden tournament, and they had reconnected and stuff. And, she invited us out to come to the tournament and come to her house. And so we get out there, and I'm already kind of like, I'm not used to stuff. I come from nothing, bro. So I'm at their house, and she got like a Bentley and a Jaguar and a this and a that. And I'm just like, oh my God. And they're like, oh, Peerless Price, the old receiver from the Atlanta Falcons. He lives right up there. And Algie Crumpler, the old tight end from the Falcons, he lives that way. And so I'm just like, God, this is crazy. I'm trying to live like this. And I will also attribute experiences like being around wealth like that when I was a child to, putting that hunger in me, like I can get this, what I'm saying, for myself if I just work hard.
Yeah, it's obtainable. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. So anyways, man, we get to the Madden tournament, and she has all these celebrities and all these football players, Brian Finneran, Marcus Stroud, who used to play for the Jaguars. Just all these folks are there. I got pictures with all these dudes, and I brought some of my friends from my neighborhood to come with me because it's mad at them. We was having a good time with kids, and then Lloyd shows up, right? And so everybody's like, Lloyd, oh my God! Like people are standing in the line to take pictures with this dude. And like when I was a kid, I never really used to be that kind of kid that like I see celebrities and I would want to take pictures with them. Hell no. I was that kid and I'm standing in the cut and I'm just like, damn, that's so cool that they're right here where I am. I don't want to really take no picture with them. I don't want to bother them. You know what I'm saying? I just used to be a little standoffish when it came to meeting celebrities. I think like most kids probably are, a little shy or intimidated or whatever. And my dad was like, man, he a person just like you. Go on, get in the line. And then really, I just wasn't trying to stand in line, to be honest with you. But my dad made me. So I get in the line. I'm standing in line to go meet Lloyd or whatever. And I get to the front of the line, and Lloyd just looks at me with this big ass smile, and he cocked his hand back, and he was like, "What's up, little daddy?" And he smacked the shit out of my hand. My shit was on fire. I swear to God, he smacked the hell out of my hand. He dapped it. Well, I'm talking about. He gave me a real live dap. I was a little kid, man. He dapped my shit like I was a grown ass man. My shit was stinging, and we took a little picture together. I don't even think I got that picture, and that was that, man. But yeah, I met Lloyd when I was a kid. He was the first person I ever met from the industry. So it's crazy because I loved his music. Like he got a lot of records that I could go back on and I could, say that I love that record. But I wouldn't just directly identify him as one of my influences. I just think it's ironic that he was the first person I met and everybody tells me that, I sound like him and stuff. My influences, like I said, Babyface. I don't really fuck with this next guy based off his personal decisions, but musically, I can't take it away from him. R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, of course. You know what I'm saying? Chris Brown and Drake and J. Cole are some of my newer references. Because again, I didn't even really start recording until I was 20. So
now I know you kind of touched on that Brian McKnight song, and I know you had like a little Aaliyah sample too in there, and some of your music from the past, man. So, who is somebody that whose music that you would like to one day like redo a record over? You know how T.I. redid Trouble Man by Marvin Gaye, or he had Marvin Gaye Trouble Man. Who is somebody what's a song or who's somebody's song that you would like to do a remix to or a remake over?
Man, I would really love to do a Babyface record, man. Like, or even an R. Kelly song because he's kind of canceled, but his greatness is still there, and so it makes people feel. I know I feel funny about going and putting money in this man's pocket, streaming his music, and I have 2 daughters. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to recreate some of his greatness, maybe even so that way it makes people feel better about it. Like, okay,
but you can still look past all the personal shit, and you can look past all the personal shit, and give him respect for what he did for the culture and for the industry, as far as the type of music that he would make. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Exactly, but as far as people enjoying it, you might feel weird listening to the R. Kelly version. But if I'm able to make something great out of the foundation that he laid, then you feel a little bit better about jamming the Angelo version. That's just my thought behind it. So
now, what's your situation now? Are you still doing? Are you still grinding independently, or are you thinking about you still trying to shop to a label, or what you got going now?
So right now I'm still independent. Nine Tails Dynasty is my imprint. I started my label back in 2015, and even when I did a situation with Cheddar, it was more of a partnership deal. So I've always registered all my own music. I always registered, all my stuff with ASCAP and my distributor and so on and so forth. I own all my international standard recording codes, aka my ISRCs. So, I own all my publishing. I submit all my own spreadsheets to Sound Exchange. I do everything myself, bro. And it's been like that.
Okay.
As far as
now, you write all your own music too, as well, too, right?
Yeah, that's the reason why I own my ISRCs so that I can, I can own my digital barcodes at the end of the day, and make sure I maintain, my generational wealth because I got kids. So, but even before I had kids, that was kind of my whole kick. If I'm gonna get into this and I'm gonna be into this, I'm gonna have ownership. That was kind of, and it's just so dope that like you see ownership becoming like a conversation. It's been becoming a conversation over the last few years, but I just really was one of those guys. Like, and it wasn't from a Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. I got a lot of respect, and I love what he stands for still. Like, but that's not what inspired me to have ownership. It wasn't P Diddy or Jay Z. It wasn't any of those guys that really just inspired me to have ownership. I would just say it was just an internal thought of like I want to be able to know where my money is coming from and where to get it and so on and so forth. So I really just put those hours in, spending time on the computer doing my research and seeing what steps I need to take and what money I needed to spend to ensure that I own my catalog. So that way
Now,
when
do
it
you have
does
any other?
come,
Now, do you have any other investments besides your music?
you said, do I have any other investments inside besides my music?
Yeah, besides your music,
Yeah.
do you have any other investments, anything like that you could tell, but you can share with us?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I got a couple other businesses and stuff like that. I own property in Houston, but I'm actually trying to buy some property in Atlanta right now because there's a lot of good areas. There's like this one area right by, in downtown Atlanta that I look at it and I say that's Dumbo of Atlanta. In like 10 years, that's going to be Dumbo. Dumbo in Brooklyn, that's Dumbo of the city of Atlanta. Like this area over here by all the HBCUs and it's right by Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And it's a lot of gentrification going on right there. So I'm really trying to buy some property about a foreclosure from the banks right now. And then I got like a pressure washing business on the side that I help build and I help with the marketing and stuff like that. I'm a partner in that company. And I also have another, excuse me, a tire regrooving business.
Okay. Now back to the music. Now is Giddy Up the new single or?
Giddy Up is a new single. Automatic was the first new single. I dropped that at the end of November on in 2019. That was actually the first single I switched over to start working with United Masters to distribute my music. And then Giddy Up is the second go around with that. And I'm building up towards dropping my project coming out June 26th. That's actually my birthday.
What you gonna call it?
Cobblestone Trail. That's the street I grew up on in Atlanta, man. So it's kind of just it signifies, me really taking you guys on a journey musically, from start to finish. I think this is probably what I would consider to be the first time I've done that, where I'm really being personal on this project. I'm really telling my story. There's a lot of new sounds for me on this story, and if you heard Giddy Up, and you kind of see like how I'm rapping on that first verse and stuff, there's gonna be a lot more of just me just letting it all out, man. Like, I took a lot of time out here because of what my niche was and my ability to get in. People wanted me to sing. They wanted me to sing. They want me to sing. And so I got caught up in trying to be this this R&B singer. Like I'm an R&B singer, and it's like not as much. You know what I mean? Like I love R&B. I can give you quality R&B records all day long. I've shown and proven that. It's just, growing up with them Gucci Mane, T.I., Jeezy, influences and being in the South and growing up in Atlanta like that, like there's a part of me that just loves making songs. It just feels good. Like on this project, man, it's a lot more rapping for me. It's a lot more just me playing with my voice and doing dope creative things that are gonna make the project, I think, really pop and really stand out from anything that you've ever heard from me before.
How many songs you gonna have on the project?
It's gonna be 26 records.
Okay, 26 records on the project. That's a lot of
Yeah.
music. You gonna give them that work, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be 26 songs.
I like
It's gonna be two-sided, 13 R&B and 13 rap hip hop songs. So you're gonna get an opportunity to really get like a playlist of me, really get to know me as a rapper, and you get to know me better as a person, as an artist, and what I stand for. Yeah, man, Cobblestone Trail.
Any features? How many features you got?
Well, I got two features from my boy Crew on the two singles that I put out already, Automatic and Giddy Up. So those are Automatic will be one of the singles from the R&B side, and Giddy Up is one of the singles obviously from the rap side. And so those two, I got a young boy I'm working with, man. His name is Quay. I really like what he has to offer musically, man. He's a young
artist. From Houston or where's he from?
He's from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
He's actually Trader Truth's nephew. And so I really like what he got talent wise, man. You can tell it running the family, and and he's standing on his own too, man. He a young kid, you know. Obviously, his uncle tried to come in and sign. He's nah, uncle, I'm gonna do it by myself. And then we just met, you know, organically while I was in the studio working with another artist, and we just developed a relationship, man. And I've been helping develop him over time, man. So I'm just keeping him in that studio, and I got a song with him on the project as well.
Now, is that
Um,
something that you want to do for the future, as far as just developing artists and stuff like that?
Definitely, man. I actually executive produced the project for the artist that introduced me to Quay. His name is Lodi, man, free Lodi. Also another young, hungry artist. He's on his own too. Um, he's not with us right now, you know. Like I said, free my man. But he should be home soon, God willing. And we got a dope project called Dos Jefes. He's from Houston as well. You know, he's Mexican, so he got a whole culture on his back, you know, that he carrying, and he don't sound like anything that you've ever heard in the industry from a Mexican artist. Like, there's a couple that are trying, you know. Shout out to Peso Peso, not trying, doing it. Shout out to Peso Peso from Houston. Shout out to D Baby Red, young kid from out here in Houston. He just kind of getting started right now. I've been seeing him make some noise, and of course, there's other, you know, Mexican rappers that are dope from Houston, Texas. But
Yeah, rest in
it's
peace,
just
Les, man. The boy Les was doing this thing out
for
here,
sure, man.
and he got murdered. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Les. Now what?
Steak and shrimp, Les.
Nah, Mexican kid. He
Oh
had from Southeast Houston, man. He was doing his thing.
man,
Yeah, he went hard. I'll show you his music whenever we get, you know what I'm saying, get done. I'll show you his music.
for sure, man. Rest in peace, to bro. I hate to hear shit like that. I just, when you said Les, I'm thinking, damn, I had no idea, but that's still sad,
Nah,
man. It's unfortunate.
he was trying to sell a bust down rollie, and yeah, man, they robbed him and they killed him.
Man,
So
that's
yeah,
crazy
it
as
was
hell,
yeah.
man.
hmm So when
Tough.
you're working with these young artists, man, what is something that you look for? What do you look for in them? You say, you know what, man, I want to work with this cat, or I want to work
I
with
look
this female.
I look for something distinct. Whatever makes you distinct. I look for something that makes you different. Do you have that thing that makes you different? Because whatever, and then you know, another thing as you bring the question up, I find young artists, and then they'll have something that makes them distinct, and they'll be trying to change it, and I just no, you don't need to try and change that. You need to enhance that. So I look to find someone who has, whether it be a distinct sound. Do you have a distinct ad lib? Do you have a distinct way of dressing and way you take pictures or content? You know, form, like, what are you doing that makes you different? Is your name just so off the wall that it's gonna catch attention and stick when I see it as a consumer? You know what I'm saying? I just look for all these things and how we can bring you out to the world. And then, you know, really probably the most important thing is, because you could sound great. Excuse me, you could sound great, but do you have a story to tell? What are you trying to talk about? Who are you talking to? Who is your audience? You know, these are all little things that I ask myself before I, you know, say, okay, yeah, I want to work with you. I think you got something. So everybody that I've mentioned, you know, from Lodi to Quay to, you know, even Crew, who people know of from his runs out in Houston early on before I even moved to Houston. But, you know, he really hasn't gotten that spotlight that he deserves, and I just want to help. You know, I'm not really so much developing Crew. Crew is there. He just needs the masses, you know what I'm saying, to hear his voice and hear his music. So
Now, is there anybody from Atlanta that you want to work with, or that you got you know what I'm saying, got a line on it? You just like, you know what, man, I want to get in the studio and build with that person. I want to create something.
yeah, I got a few dope cats from Atlanta that I really like, man. It's a guy named Jimmy Guns. We grew up together, and he from New Orleans, but he lives in Houston. He actually was a Katrina transplant. My man's came out there after that horrible shit back in '05, I believe it was. And so yeah, man, he came out there, and we grew up together, and he's really been on his grind out there in Atlanta doing his thing. I've been helping him. You know, I brought him to a couple sessions with June James while I was out there in Atlanta working with June. And yeah, man, I, I write for a lot of people, so that is always something that, you know, I'm always willing to do. But yeah, Jimmy Guns. I'm trying to think, man. there's a cat from Tennessee out there named Evan Dupree. I actually did a feature for him on one of his last projects. There's another kid in Atlanta. What's his name? Apollo. He's an R&B singer, and there's this other young R&B singer named Olay. He been grinding. I really like him. I think we should get some work in soon when I get back to the city. But it's, those are kind of the ones that just stick out because that's who Mando Hill. I almost forgot my brother Mando Hill. That's another one, man. He's super talented, African. He's from Zambia, and man, he has a voice that is out of this world. And he produces and he writes his own music and stuff, man. I got a song I want to share with you from Mando Hill. It's called 1645. When you get a chance, it's on Apple Music and all that good stuff. But he's
yeah, amazing. Man. Let me know, man. I'm definitely check that out, man. But before we go ahead and wrap this up, man, go ahead and tell the people what they can expect for you in the near future, man. What you got?
Man, I just revamped Angelo-Dorsey.com. So merchandise is available, and there's more stuff coming soon. We got hoodies, windbreakers, socks, T-shirts, iPhone cases, the whole nine. So definitely we building a dynasty this year. This year is about Nine Tails Dynasty and getting Angelo Dorsey to the next level. My birthday album, I've never dropped in the summertime. And my birthday falls on a Friday this summer. June 26th, Cobblestone Trail is on the way. You can expect that. The shit is gonna be jamming. Girls gonna be shaking ass. Dudes gonna be throwing money. You're gonna be making some love. You might cry a little bit. You might cry a little bit from reflecting on your time struggling, and then how you shining now, and you just thinking about how far you done came. You might shed a tear. You know what I'm saying? And we talking to our people. You know what I'm saying? When I say our people, I mean our people, and we uplifting our community on this Cobblestone Trail album. I'm really taking y'all on a journey on this one, man. So.
Well, I'm definitely gonna be checking for it, man. I'm pretty sure everybody else gonna be checking for it too. Like I said, man, everything I heard so far from you, man, it's always been on point. It's always been polished. It's always been fire. So I don't expect nothing less this time around. Go ahead and get the people your social media, man, so they can go ahead and follow your grind and get and tap in with you one time.
For sure, my brother, man. Y'all can follow me at Angelo Dorsey, Angelo Dorsey. That's on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm tapping in. You follow me right now, and you type top down, or you know what I'm saying, whatever. We in the mix. I'm following back right away. So that's
bit, man. And it's your boy 45, man. Hit me on everything Top Down, anything Top Down Magazine on all platforms, or Top Down Magazine TV on all platforms. If you want to be on the show, you want me to interview you, man, just hit me on there, and I'll get back to you ASAP. And this is another edition of the Hot Seat. Yep.